Hi, I'm Peter Drakulich from DrivingUpSales.com, and as always, you guys are fantastic. I wanted to thank you for tuning in to Ask the Expert, exclusively done for DealersBiz.com. Here's our question of the week. Stephanie Hudson, e-commerce marketing manager at Younger Motor Cars in Washington, D.C. wrote, I and most managers that work with me ask ourselves daily, how do we hold gross in a tough market? How do we hold gross over the internet with all the competition out there? It's tough, and as much as we need the volume, and online sales promote that volume, the gross really goes down. What do you do? Well, Stephanie, that's a great question. And you know what, really? There are three questions here that seem the same but aren't. Holding gross on the showroom floor and holding gross on the internet are two different animals. How to handle the competition online is in a completely different ballpark. I wanted to answer this question quick, but when you talk about gross, you really have to make sure you have the basics covered. First, gross is a state of mind. In any sale, you only have two real objectives: close the deal and hold gross. Closing the deal has to be your basic instinct. Holding gross is about your learned techniques and skills. It should be like inner voices battling until the end of the sale. Secondly, gross comes from excellent service and creating a strong difference between you and your competition. You know, everyone talks about holding gross. I want to talk about what kills gross. People who don't care to learn the product kill gross. People who don't set themselves apart by being more knowledgeable and professional kill gross. People who lie, exaggerate, or make overpromises, they kill gross. People who don't know how to get the right vehicle selection kill gross. People who are disrespectful, not sincere, have negative attitudes, they kill gross. People who don't appreciate that each customer is an opportunity to sell kill gross. You know, the last one I'm going to say is people or dealers who don't have a selling system, they really kill gross and they hurt other dealers as well as themselves. All right, now to answer your question. Holding gross means you have to have a keen sense of creating or finding opportunities to increase value and tap into the customer's needs along the sales process. On the sales floor, needs analysis, needs solution selling helps you make suggestions that your customer may not have considered. It's a fact that people will pay more for the right solution or service. I like professional trade devaluation. Don't be insulting, but don't be afraid to start low and test the water. Here's the last one. You got to be firm and flexible. Holding firm on your position early and often takes away the customer's ability to erode your gross. Show some flexibility towards the end, or when you come to a dead end, to get the deal closed. On the phone or internet, the objectives are different. On the phone or internet, you really only have one objective. The only objective you have is to get them to come in. Finalizing a deal at the dealership gives you opportunities to increase gross using the sales floor techniques I mentioned earlier. All right, how do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you an old school and new school mix. You still need to do a needs analysis with the customer. Because your objective is to get them to come in, you have to create a few different solutions for their needs. With your invitation, you suggest that they come in and see all the options before they make a final decision. This will give your sales floor some room for increasing gross by allowing the negotiations to be finalized at the dealership. The next one I do is trade source devaluation. Phone and internet customers work hard to get you to commit to the highest trade value they were able to find online. The best way to handle this is by demonstrating how much the vehicle values differ from website to website. Now, you've proven that the experts can't agree on the value of the vehicle, and you've devalued their credibility. The customer knows this because they've experienced it for themselves while they were looking for their trade value. Now you just summarize that it might be easier and be best for them to bring in all the printouts so that we can have our appraiser help them get to the maximum value. Remind the customer that the trade values are made up of year, make, model, miles, less any needed reconditioning. Again, you leave the negotiation for when they come into the dealership. The danger on the phone or the internet is too much information. This should be short and sweet. Give enough info to get them in and enough motivation to finish the deal when they show up. Okay, Stephanie, now for the big one. Setting yourself apart from the rest of your competition online or on the phone is tough only because most dealers have bought into having these generic factory websites. Now, everyone looks the same. For the customer, the only visible difference is price. The lowest price. So how do you compete? Well, with Web 2.0 in full effect, there are some things you could do quickly to set yourself apart. I use video on YouTube to communicate with my audience and clients. If I were you, I would send an email with a custom video to each customer. I would shoot it myself, showing the car that they liked, and maybe have a salesperson who's going to help them out do a nice little walk around video for them. This will certainly help you set yourself apart from everyone else. Wow, this was pretty long. I think you have a lot to work with here. Stephanie, I appreciate your question. And again, I invite anyone who has any questions to send it to me by email, info@drivingupsales.com. I'd be more than happy to respond with a video like this. Once again, I thank you for tuning in to Ask the Expert, brought to you by dealersbiz.com. I'm Peter Drakulich from drivingupsales.com. Remember, the only thing stopping you is you. Keep driving up sales.